Recently announced a new land acquisition near Virginia Square. What would you use that land for and why?
Well, goodness, Stephanie, there's just so many things we could use it for. And that's true, because we're not making any more land in Arlington. I think that, first of all, as far as I'm understanding it, and I guess to read between the lines, the county has a purchase option, but the voters still have to approve probably approximately $26 million bond in 2016 in order to come up with the funds to pay for it. We're just using some available money to basically make down payments on it to that. So we also have to be able to sell this to the voters that this is something worth purchasing. I don't think it should be any just one thing. We have to look at this type of site as an opportunity for co-locating schools or other public facilities, also park space. I think it's important, though, that we get away from this, what do we as candidates or what does the county board think is right and perfect, and really, and I hope through the community facilities discussion, really have a robust discussion with the community as to what they'd like to see there. The county board needs a little more humility, I guess, in that respect. We have to lead, but at the same time. Because opportunities like this don't come very often to buy this much land or cheaply.
And yes, certainly there needs to be a robust community process, but it is incumbent on the county board to lead. Land acquisition is a critical thing for a municipal government to do strategically when necessary in a community as constrained as ours. So I applaud the decision. Now, what goes there is really going to depend on a lot of factors. There are environmental issues on the site, so what it's going to cost to remediate those will definitely dictate what we can do there. But it's really up to the county board to figure out what makes sense geographically and with our community needs. I can think of a few things. I can certainly think of housing. I can certainly think of open space. Don't think this is going to solve all of our schools' problem. We need a school in South Arlington. That's where the demographic forecasts lead us. But there are plenty other priorities that the county board should really, given site conditions, put forth a solid proposal that the community can weigh on, as opposed to opening it up to a Christmas tree wish list kind of a process.
Hello. I think the acquisition of land is a great idea. We have to engage in a community process where we determine exactly what we're going to use it for, but knowing that the schools are growing, I know something we can use it for right away. And that's housing our school buses and maintenance trucks in the middle of the county. I don't know how many of you have children and sit behind a long ride on the school bus as you try to navigate the county. This would allow us to have school buses in the middle of the county, which is a shorter distance for our students to ride to and from school. This also puts our opportunity to put our maintenance vehicles in the middle of the county. So in the wintertime, we can get out to move and plow streets faster and quicker. This also allows an opportunity even to take the salt dome that's over in Old Dominion and move it over to a more industrial location. So those are the things that I would do right away, but of course the community engagement process leads us down the road to what ultimately would be there. But I would be looking for a co-location of schools and county facilities.
I appreciate the question. I'll tell you why. I think it's very foresighted for the county to have bought this land. I applaud it. I think we have to continue to look for opportunities for land acquisition. I think the one thing I don't want to see is a non-starter between the county and the school saying, well, this is our land, or this is your land. This is our land, right? I'm not going to sing. The other thing I'll tell you is that while I'm very pleased that we've acquired this land, I'm disappointed that the county has not continued its legacy of acquiring parkland. And I did not see in the press release in the article that that was a likely scenario for this space. The county's essentially zeroed out its acquisition of parkland since I think 2011, 2010, and we need to refocus on that as an acquisition target as well. So I look forward to being engaged in the community process for what this land should be used for. I know we have a lot of needs, but those are my two fundamental points.
Congratulations to the county board for putting this together. We really, really need all the extra land that we can use in the public sphere, particularly industrial zone land. I don't think we get this land tomorrow. I believe that we have an option on it. Perhaps our usage of this land will be phased in over the next several years. I think we will see a differentiation of uses as time goes on with this land. We may be able to get part of it first, and then we may be able to get all of it later once we buy it. How will we use it? You know, I think we will end up using some of it for industrial uses. I think we will end up using some of it for off-site school uses. I think we will use some of it for maybe a salt dome. This will take years to figure out what goes on this site, when it goes on this site, and I believe the site's usage will change as we evolve.
I do support a bond measure to acquire this land. I think that land acquisition is the right approach for Arlington, and I think that we should be doing more of it. In a small county, we have to be growing our pie of the 2.2 square miles that APS and the county owns, instead of pitting affordability versus schools versus park space as we fight over the slices. I support park acquisition. I believe we should be doing more of it. I believe we should be doing more of it on a modest scale to expand and preserve neighborhood parks, which I know many Arlingtonians value. A few of the others here have spoken about a community process to solicit input about how to use our space. I would argue we have that process. It's underway right now with our joint facility study, of which I've been proud to represent my commission to, and hear from my neighbors and from county staff about the variety of priorities that we should be considering for this new space. As always, I think our community processes can be more inclusive and more expansive, and I hope we'll do that if we acquire the Quincy space and seek for the best options to do with it.